7 things you need to know about what's coming up in Coronation Street next week. The week ahead in Coronation Street is one of quiet conspiracies, emotional fractures and lives pushed to breaking point. Carl Webster is already deep into a dangerous game. He's been siphoning money from his sister Debbie's account, convinced that securing his own future justifies crossing lines that should never be crossed. Meanwhile, Debbie, distracted and buoyant, ignores a text from Elaine as she focuses on her hen party, lovingly planned by Sally, Christina, Glenda and Bernie, every ribbon and cupcake placed with care. Across town, the stag do has a different atmosphere. Ronnie laughs, sliding a beer toward James, but Carl doesn't join in. A sour heat rises in his throat. Power of attorney looms like an unexpected endgame, one he hasn't prepared for. He imagines Debbie handing over her bank books like a coronation, his schemes dissolving under the weight of legal signatures. It's time, he decides, to act, and quickly. Before he can make a move, the phone rings. Local numbers always make his stomach drop. This time, the voice is one he's known since childhood, tight with panic. The words come jagged, almost animal. There's been an accident. His mother is dead. Carl's chest tightens. The world collapses into a single, terrifying point. When he finally tells James, a whispered confession in the back of the pub, remorse and opportunity perch on either shoulder. James places a hand on his arm, quiet and devastating. "I'm sorry, mate." But later, alone, James' tone shifts. Grief remains, but something sharper cuts through it. He threatens to tell Debbie about Carl's secret transfers. Carl scrambles, apologizing, promising repayment. Blackmail, he realizes, is the one thing he can't afford. He never set out to burn people, only to shore up his fragile sense of security. But in Weatherfield, even the smallest flame can become a bonfire. The fallout reaches Debbie's hen party. Obie flees the glittering room where weeks of preparation hang in the air like suspended joy. Laughter thins when her phone rings. Afterwards, silence settles. Her absence becomes a wedge, and rumors soon slither through conversations. She's left because of Carl. Someone has warned her that her fiancé's name is shadowed by money that moved when it shouldn't have. Hurt spreads like a stain. Walking home with her collar turned up, hands buried in her pockets, Obie wonders if her need for trust has made her naive. Elsewhere, the Driscoll household fractures under its own secrets. Susie Price, shining with the forced optimism of someone considering another child late in life, announces she wants a sibling for Ben. His face lights up. He's always wanted to try again. Eva recoils. Her hard-won confidence has already been dented by other discoveries. Her credit card turning up in a hotel, a story about Will that never quite adds up. Ben insists Will used the card. Will claims confusion. Trust buckles, the metal of the family structure shimmering with strain. Secrets have a way of surfacing. Maggie Driscoll finds Eva's folded confession, by accident, or by the kind of instinct only mothers possess. Her response is swift and coldly protective. Christmas dinner becomes compulsory. Adam and Ali are summoned into the fold. The table is ornate with trimmings, paper hats and clinking cutlery, but tension hums beneath it all. Maggie's suspicion shows in the questions she asks about money, about phones left in coat pockets. Secret Santa should be harmless. Instead, Ben unwraps his gift and freezes. Inside is something that speaks of choices made elsewhere. A small, glowing fuse. Voices rise. Glances dart. The room tightens. The next morning, before daytime television can warm the living rooms, a siren slices through the winter air. A resident has been attacked. A body lies on the cobbles, hunched like a sleeping animal. Paramedics work with their heads down. Breath clouds in the cold as neighbors spill into doorways. News travels fast. Grief always does. Across town, Lisa Swain is trying, in the quiet way soaps allow, to rebuild after the rawness of the past year. Then Carla Connor's social media posts land like barbed darts, sharp remarks about joint mortgages and honesty. Carla wants Lisa's name off the mortgage, publicly. The crowd leans in. Lisa's quietly mending heart contracts. She texts Carla one evening, a sentence of love, a question about survival under public scrutiny. The reply is curt, businesslike, carving a smaller space inside her. Becky, hearing that Di Costello is improving in hospital, doesn't feel relief, she feels panic. To the public, Becky has been little more than a ghost, but she slips back into life with intentions that smell of smoke. In a reckless act of bravado, she impersonates Lisa to remove Costello from hospital, steering him where she wants. The deception is thin, brittle, and it leaves Becky trembling. When she tries to rebuild intimacy with Lisa, the responses are cold and measured. "I need time." Lisa says it again to Carla. "I love you, but I'm afraid." Roy Cropper becomes an anchor in the storm. Over tea, he gently reveals something that unsettles Lisa completely. Carla never checked into her hotel in Spain. The possibility that Carla lied, about distance, about intentions, lodges painfully inside her. Were Becky's actions the cause of everything, or merely a symptom? Back at the Bailey household, James wrestles with his own choices. When Carl delivered the catastrophic news about his mother, James had responded with a numbness he didn't recognize. He'd threatened exposure. He'd tasted blackmail. When the two men meet again, desperation gives way to something more combustible, an intimacy forged in secrecy and grief. When fragments of that truth begin to leak, Obie realizes she didn't leave her hen party for the reasons anyone assumed. One phone call changed everything. Theo Silverton hosts a Christmas gathering of his own, promising warmth and comfort. Instead, forced games and too many drinks sharpen the evening. Charades begin with laughter, then Theo snaps, a clue card hurled, a wine glass smashed. The crack of breaking glass lands like a gunshot. Silence follows. Old fractures reopen. Dawn brings a horror the street won't forget. A familiar face is found injured, blood at the collar, purse missing. The community, once bickering over crackers and mortgages, pulls together. Doors open. Questions swirl. CCTV footage, a hooded figure, a van leaving too quickly. Gossip hardens into evidence. Becky's plans unravel completely. Her attempt to reclaim meaning by holding Costello close only deepens Lisa's anger. Trust, once stolen, does not return on demand. For Carl, the truth is brutal. Grief didn't excuse his actions, it sharpened them. His financial transfers glow red on a banking app, seen by someone who doesn't have to protect him. In the bitter aftermath of the attack, James confronts him. Shouted words, threatened secrets. In the end, not a public exposure, but a private reckoning, apologies that taste like metal, promises unlikely to hold. The Driscoll Christmas becomes a ledger of debts and betrayals. Eva finally speaks. Adam promises to fight. Susie clings to hope. Maggie keeps everyone close, mistrustful and vigilant. As candlelight flickers across the square, wrapped in scarves and regret, Weatherfield stands together, not with answers, but with questions. A phone call can shatter a life. A letter can break a family. And yet, beneath the grief, there remains a fragile possibility of repair. This Christmas arrives not with comfort, but with consequences. An emergency call, a body wrapped in blankets, a confession folded into a coat pocket, a love text sent with trembling fingers. Coronation Street has always known how small grudges become catastrophes, and how, sometimes, small kindnesses can stitch people back together. In the warm corner of the Rovers, as the heating hums and the television flickers, someone lifts a glass and says what everyone is thinking. We are not the same this year. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to Coronation Street Update.